You've been told to wait, to be patient, to hope the world will change. But what if the world is waiting on you to change first? This isn't about luck. It's not about timing. It's about the one thing that decides everything: your attitude, right? Now, you're standing at the edge of who you've been and who you could become. But you can't cross that line with the same mind that's kept you stuck. Your next level demands a new internal state. And it starts here, with how you see, how you believe, how you respond. Your attitude is your hidden power, and the second you choose to master it, life stops happening to you and starts. It's happening through you. Let's begin. 1. Attitude isn't what you project. What you permit inside. It's not the face you wear when people are watching. It's the war you win when no one sees. Before you ever take action, before you ever speak, you've already set the course of your life by what you've allowed your mind to become. You don't need more motivation. You need internal order. A mind that refuses chaos. A spirit that chooses power. Again and again, everything you do is a mirror of how you think. Every decision is born from your dominant mental state. If you walk into your day bitter, you'll find evidence to justify that bitterness. If you wake up expecting rejection, life will hand it to you on a silver plate. But if your attitude is tuned to intention, presence, faith, you will move like someone who's already seen the outcome. What they call luck is just internal mastery. It's becoming external momentum. You don't need to fake positivity. You need to train clarity, to direct your thoughts like a general, commanding an army to set your internal weather because storms outside don't drown you. It's the water inside the boat that sinks it. Most people are running from their own minds, drowning in distraction, living at the mercy of every little thought, every passing feeling, every external trigger. But not you. Not anymore. You don't rise because life gets easier. You rise because your inner world becomes stronger than the outer one. That's the shift. Not fake optimism. Not pretending things are fine. But choosing to respond to life with fire in your chest and steel in your spine. When you walk with that kind of attitude, doors open, not because life suddenly favors you, but because you stopped waiting for favor. You became someone who no longer asks. If it's possible, you decide it is, and you move accordingly. 2. Most people live like they're reacting to a storm they can't control, but the strongest among us don't chase calm, they create it. You don't have to be ruled by what happens around you. You don't have to be a slave to your first emotion. You are not a puppet pulled by circumstances. You are the force that chooses what those circumstances will mean. It's not what happens to you that defines you. It's what you do next. It's how you respond when the pressure is high, when nothing goes according to plan, when you're tired, afraid, disrespected, and no one is coming to save you. That moment, right? There is the battlefield where, as most people lose, they explode, they complain, they retreat, they let fear choose for them, they hand their future to anger, insecurity, ego, and in that split second, their destiny shifts, not because of the challenge, but because of how they responded to it. But there is another way, path most never walk, the path of conscious response. It starts when you slow down and feel the fire rise in you, and you don't run from it. You observe it, you acknowledge the reaction, but you don't obey it. You give yourself space, and in that space, something rare happens. You choose who you will be. That's power. Power is not the loudest voice in the room. It's the one that can stay silent long enough to make a decision, rooted in truth, not emotion. When you own your response, you own your story. You stop reacting like a victim of your day. You start building like a master of your mission. Think of every time you lost control. What did it cost you? Trust, momentum, opportunity, peace. Now think of every time you kept your center, held your frame, spoke with intention, acted with precision. That is the you the world is waiting for. And here's the key. You don't become that version of you in the big moments. You become it in the small ones, in the silent ones, in the everyday moments when it's just you. Your frustration and your choice. Will you lash out? Will you cave in? Or will you lead starting with yourself? Control doesn't mean suppression. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means refusing to hand over the wheel. It means refusing to let temporary emotions destroy permanent progress. There will always be pressure, always be critics, always be failure, rejection, chaos, traffic, bills, delays, betrayal, uncertainty. But if you build your internal system to respond instead of react, you become untouchable. Your attitude becomes unshakable. Your energy becomes clean. Your actions become deliberate. And your life becomes yours again. You stop being a passenger, and you take the wheel. So next time life punches you in the mouth, pause. Don't flinch, don't collapse, breathe, and remember. Every second you hold your center is a second you rewrite your story. Every time you respond with purpose, you weaken the old patterns. Every calm decision is a dagger in the heart of your former self. This is how change is made. Not in loud breakthroughs, but in quiet control. And eventually, your default reaction becomes strength. You become the one who doesn't get rattled. You become the one others look to in chaos. You become the constant in a world that breaks at every wind. Your power doesn't lie in dominating others. It lies in dominating yourself. Because if you can master the moment, you can master your life. 3. If you can't see it in your mind, you'll never hold it in your hands. That's not philosophy. That's reality. Every result you chase, every goal, dream, breakthrough, was once just a picture in someone's head. A vision they refuse to let go of. And yet, most people go through life blind, not because they lack sight, because they lack vision. They wake up and face the world without an image of what they want. They react to whatever shows up. They drift. They repeat. They decay. And they call it life. But you were not made to drift. You were made to design. Your mind is a tool more powerful than any external resource, but it obeys whatever you show it. Feed it images of failure, doubt, and fear in. That's what it will build your world from, but feed it clarity. Focus, fire in. It will start rearranging your reality to match, because that's the secret no one tells you. Your brain is always building. The question is, what are you giving it to build with? Visualization isn't daydreaming. It's not fantasy. It's training. You are rehearsing your future with every image you allow to dominate your internal screen. See yourself rising. See yourself speaking with clarity. See yourself walking into rooms with presence, closing deals, building empires, creating peace, leading people, mastering your body, honoring your purpose. Feel it, smell it, hear it, own it. The more real it becomes in your mind, the more effortless it becomes in your life. And no, this isn't magic. It's mechanics. You train your subconscious to expect success, to spot opportunities, to trust your steps, to bypass the noise. You prime your nervous system to move like a person who believes. And when belief becomes instinct, the game changes. But most people don't do this. They visualize failure over and over. They rehearse rejection. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They relive trauma. They build cages inside their own minds and then decorate them with self-pity. And the most dangerous part, they don't even realize they're doing it. They call it being realistic. They call it preparing for the worst. But you can't prepare for greatness while rehearsing defeat. Your attitude toward the future shapes whether you lean into it or shrink from it. When you walk into a room, having already seen yourself winning in your mind, you don't ask for permission. You walk like you belong. You speak like you have something to say. You move like you already know where this path ends. And that energy is impossible to fake. People feel it before you speak. Now listen, this is not about pretending life is easy. It's about committing to a vision strong enough to endure the hard. Because you will get knocked down. You will fail. You will face resistance, doubt, delay. But if the vision in your head is more real than the pain in your path, you'll keep going. You'll adapt. You'll evolve. You'll find new doors because your mind refuses to settle in dead ends. This is why the strongest warriors aren't the ones with the best weapons, they're the ones with the clearest vision. So build the image, build it daily, in silence, in solitude, before the world tells you who you are. Tell yourself who you're becoming, then act like it's already true, because in many ways it already is. For faith is not hoping things will work out. It's knowing you'll rise even if they don't. Real faith doesn't whisper sweet words. When everything is going well, it roars from the pit. When everything is falling apart, it doesn't need proof, it becomes the proof. Most people think faith is passive, a feeling, a prayer, a safety net. But that's not faith. That's dependency dressed in hope. True faith is fierce. It's action in the dark. It's walking forward with shaking legs. It's building when nothing is guaranteed. It's showing up. When the world tells you to sit down, faith is the decision. To align your attitude with a future you can't yet see, but refuse to stop believing in. You need that kind of fire, because life will not hand you peace. It will not reward the weak. It will not spare you from loss, betrayal, delay, or silence. But what it will do is bend in the presence of someone who moves with unshakable inner conviction, not noise, not arrogance, but certainty. Not that everything will be easy, but that you will remain, that you will adapt, that you will learn, that you will rise because you've decided to. Faith is not, I hope I make it, so I will keep walking even if the road disappears. Because here's what most people never understand. Faith is not about outcome, it's about alignment. It's not about controlling results, it's about commanding your energy. Through the storm, faith says, I may not have the map, but I have the fire. I may not know the next step, but I trust the one taking it. This is where people fail. They confuse faith with comfort, with ease, with instant results. And when that doesn't show, they fold. They call it signs. They call it not meant to be. No, faith is not the absence of difficulty. It is your attitude in the face of it. It's the refusal to let delay redefine destiny. It's the posture of someone who keeps building while everyone else is waiting for perfect conditions. You want to know who really wins? The one who keeps hammering in the silence, the one who keeps climbing without applause, the one who speaks vision into the void, keeps going when no one claps. That's faith. It's lonely, it's unly, it's brutal, it's sacred, because faith will make you walk through fire. But it will also reveal that you are flame. And the beauty is this. Once you walk with faith long enough, you stop begging for signs. You become one. You stop waiting for miracles. You start moving like one, and the world notices. Not because you're louder, but because your presence speaks louder than your words. That is the energy of someone who cannot be manipulated, who cannot be delayed, who cannot be disoriented by failure, because their attitude is grounded in something deperthan. What's visible? They've already won on the inside, and the outside is just catching up. You want to rise? Stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what if I rise anyway? And then do it 5. Discipline isn't just something you do, it's someone you become, because every action is a reflection of a deeper code, and that code is carved in silence, in choices no one sees. In the moments where every part of you screams stop, but something deeper says keep going. You think greatness is built in the spotlight? No, it's built when the alarm rings at 4 a.m. and you don't hit snooze. It's built when you show up tired, unseen, uncelebrated, and still give everything. You've got mental discipline isn't about being rigid, it's about being rooted. It's about setting your internal temperature and not letting the outside world adjust it. Because the world will try it, will seduce you with comfort, tempt you with easy exits, numb you with noise, but the disciplined mind is deaf to distraction. It doesn't need dopamine, it doesn't need applause, it needs mission. That's what most people don't get. They think discipline is punishment, that it's sacrifice, suffering, self-denial. but there. Wrong. Discipline is freedom, because once your mind learns to obey, you become unstoppable. No more being pulled by emotion, no more surrendering to cravings, no more drifting with every mood or external circumstance. You become steel, not cold, just unbending. Because every time you choose consistency over comfort, you rewire your brain to believe that you are in charge. Not your fears, not your laziness, not your impulses, just you. Deliberate focused. Let me be clear, this isn't about being perfect. This is about being relentless. You will fall. You will miss a step. You will doubt, but the discipline don't stay down. They reset, refocus, recalibrate, and keep going. And over time, something changes. What used to feel hard becomes normal. What used to feel impossible becomes routine. The voice that once begged for rest grows quiet, and the fire that once flickered becomes a permanent flame. That's what happens when you train your mind like a warrior. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop explaining your limitations. You start commanding your actions. Because you realize discipline is not the enemy of joy, it's the architect of fulfillment. It's the reason some people walk into a room with gravity and others evaporate in their own excuses. You want peace? Train your mind. You want power? Train your mind. You want to change your life? Train your mind. Because if you don't, someone else will. A system, a screen, a voice, a distraction, a lie, and you won't even notice. You'll just wake up one day, wondering how you got so far from yourself. But if you build discipline, real discipline, you'll never lose yourself again. Because your actions are no longer up for debate. They are non-negotiable. They are yours. So get quiet, get ruthless, and remember, every time you show up when it's hard, you build a new identity. And that identity will carry you through any storm. Sixth purpose is not a lofty idea, reserved for dreamers. It's a primal force that shapes the trajectory of your life. Without it, even the strongest will break. The sharpest minds will wander. The fiercest warriors will lose their way. Purpose is what separates those who endure from those who fade away. You see, discipline, visualization, faith, they're powerful. Yes, but they're sustained only by purpose. Purpose is the why behind the how. It's the fire beneath the flame. It's the anchor when the storms rage. Without purpose, motivation is temporary. It flickers and dies. Without purpose, pain is unbearable. It crushes and breaks. But with purpose, pain becomes fuel. It becomes meaning. A reminder that what you're building is bigger than its discomfort, bigger than setbacks, bigger than sacrifice. Purpose turns lonely battles into sacred missions. It gives every hardship a reason. It transforms suffering into strength. The world will try to convince you your purpose is small, that your dreams are childish, that your vision is unrealistic, that comfort is safety, that good enough is enough. But those lies come from fear, not yours, but the world's. Because when someone lives on purpose, they shift everything. They become a force of nature. Not because they shout the loudest, but because their energy pulls the world toward them. Purpose is a commitment to becometh. Person who can carry the wet, if the dreams they hold inside. It's a decision to stop running from responsibility. Start owning your impact. When you hold purpose as your compass, remember, storm is too strong. No obstacle too big. No sacrifice too great. Your attitude becomes, it's unbreakable. Because your energy is rooted in meaning. This is why so many give up. They never found their true why. They chased fleeting highs, temporary wins, empty praise. They fought battles without reason, and when the war got hard, they folded. But you carry something heavier, something fiercer, something eternal. You don't just want to survive. You want to build. You want to leave a mark. You want to live with fire in your chest stand. It's purpose in your veins. That's the difference. That's the game changer. So ask yourself, what do you live for? What pain are you willing to endure for that? What legacy will you carve because of that? Because the moment your attitude aligns with your purpose, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You become a creator of destiny. Your life ceases to be a reaction. It becomes a declaration, and nothing can stop a declaration. 7. The moment you stop blaming the world, start owning your power. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's the key that unlocks freedom, growth, and control. Most people want change without responsibility. They want results without effort. They want respect without integrity, but that's a fantasy real change requires. Real ownership. Ownership of your choices, your thoughts, your habits, your failures, your success. No one else will carry your life for you, not your circumstances, not your past, not your environment. You are the one steering this ship, and the attitude you choose determines the course. When you embrace responsibility, you stop playing the victim. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop blaming luck, fate, or other people. You become the master of your domain. That mastery is autodominio. It means controlling the impulses, the distractions, the excuses. It means looking in the mirror and saying, "This is on me." It's brutal honesty with yourself. No sugarcoating. No excuses, because without it, your attitude is fragile, easily broken by criticism, failure, or discomfort. But with it, your attitude is forged in iron. You become unshakable because you know who you are, what you stand for, where you're going. Autodominio means every decision is deliberate. Every step has purpose. Every setback is a lesson. Every victory, a reminder of your power. This is the difference between those who float through life and those who command it. When you take full responsibility, you take full control. And control is freedom, because no external force can break you. If you refuse to break yourself, the world will test you. It will push, pull, and pressure. It will tempt you to give up, to cheat, to lie, to settle. But your attitude is your fortress, and inside it, you are sovereign. This isn't just about discipline or willpower. It's about building a mind that's untouchable. Mind that moves with clarity and calm. A mind that wins by outlasting the chaos. If you want to change your life, start by owning it. No more excuses. No more blame. No more delay. Responsibility is your weapon. Autodominio, your shield. And with those, there is nothing you can't face. 8. Your attitude today writes the first line of your legacy. Every choice, every moment of resilience or surrender adds to the story you'll leave behind. Most live small, invisible lives, never realizing the power they hold to shape what comes next. They settle for comfort, forget their potential, and vanish without a trace. But you were not made for invisibility. You were born to make waves, to shake the foundations, to be remembered. Legacy isn't about fame or fortune. It's about impact. The ripple your life sends across time. When your attitude is fierce, deliberate, and unyielding, you become a beacon for others, a force that moves beyond your own. Flesh and bone, you inspire, you challenge you. Legacy is the echo of your inner world manifested. In the outer, it's the gift you give to those who come after you, a map of how to stand when the world tries to break you. But legacy doesn't wait until you're gone. It starts now in every interaction, every struggle, every victory. Your attitude is the language you speak without. It's the energy you carry when you walk into a room. It's the unspoken promise you make to yourself and others. Do you want to leave behind a life of excuses? Or a life of relentless courage? A story of giving up? Or a story of rising every time you fall? The choice is yours, and it begins with the attitude you cultivate today. Remember, the world doesn't just remember what you did. It remembers how you did it, with fear or with courage, with despair or with hope, with surrender or with fire. This is your moment, your chance to decide what kind of echo you will send into the future. Will it be a whisper lost in the wind, or a roar that shakes generations? Your attitude shapes that. Choose wisely. 9. Resilience is not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain, to bend without breaking, to fall without surrendering. Most people mistake resilience for toughness, for unyielding strength. But true resilience is softer than that. It's flexible, it's adaptive, it's a quiet force that whispers, keep going when the world screams. Give up. Your attitude is the soil where resilience grows. If it's poisoned by doubt or fear, resilience withers before it takes root. But when your attitude is fertile with belief, discipline, and purpose, resilience flourishes. It's the mental muscle that recovers, rebuilds, and pushes forward. It's the light in the tunnel when everything else is dark. And here's the secret. Resilience isn't a trait you're born with. It's a skill you develop, a habit you forge, a mindset you cultivate every time you face hardship. And choose to rise, you train your resilience. Every time you meet failure with curiosity instead of fear, you strengthen it. You learn to see setbacks as lessons, not punishments. You stop running from pain and start running through it. Because pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Your attitude decides what you live with. The resilient don't waste energy fighting the storm. They use it. They flow. With it, they rise because of it. This doesn't mean you won't feel broken at times. It means you'll feel broken and still move forward. You'll cry. Grieve, but not collapse. You'll be battered, but unbowed. Resilience is the bridge between failure and success, between despair and hope. It's the reason some get lost in adversity, while others find themselves. If you want to be the latter, start by building an attitude that refuses to quit. An attitude that says, this is not the end. Because your life will throw punches. It will test you. It will demand everything you have. And your attitude. That's what determines if you stay down or get back up. So when the darkness closes in, when hope seems distant, when every step feels heavy, remember, resilience is your superpower. You don't just survive the storm, you own it. 10. You've heard the words, you've felt the fire. Now it's time to act. Change doesn't come from waiting. It comes from deciding right now that you will never be the same again. Your attitude is the spark. It's the engine. It's the foundation beneath every dream. Every battle, every victory, this journey you're on isn't easy. It's dark. It's raw. It demands everything. But it also promises everything. Everything you want. Respect, power, peace. Freedom lies just beyond the boundary of your current mindset. You must cross that line. No one will do it for you. No, one can do it for you. The question is simple. Will you keep settling for less? Or will you stand up, look the world in the eye, and say, not anymore? This is your moment. Your future is waiting for the attitude you choose today. So, choose courage. Choose clarity. Choose fire. Refuse to be broken by circumstance. Refuse to be defined by fear. Refuse to be controlled by doubt. Become the master of your mind, the commander of your soul. Live with purpose. So fierce it shakes the earth beneath your feet. Harness discipline like a blade forged in silence and struggle. See your future with eyes that burn with certainty. Hold faith that isn't blind, but unbreakable. Own your responsibility with ruthless honesty. Build resilience. So strong it laughs at pain and leave behind a legacy that echoes through time. This is the path of those who change their attitude, change their life. The path is yours. Walk it with fire.